Hi, Chandra.
So hello Hanshagru. Today's topic is attribute dimensions, how it will be used in FCCS application. So now I'm presenting my PPT. Is it visible, Manisha?
Yes, Chandra.
Yeah. Today's topic is attribute dimension. Attribute means it categorizes or it separates the value that required as per user or customer or user preferences like color, size, um, random variables like what is the configurations. Like this way, we will separate the particular user preference. So in this topic, we will able to show the attribute dimension in following artifacts. That is uh, data form, RTP, business rules, smart view. So these four areas we will use this attribute dimensions in FCCS application. So, first question, what is an attribute in general? That is, in general, in the sense it separates or it categorizes or it characterizes the particular product or particular area that required in size or region or color. In these areas, it will separates the product. This is called attribute. So the example of Amazon app. So in Amazon of various types of categories like electronics, clothing, groceries there, and then some of them are mobiles, accessories. So these are all called attributes. In that attributes, we have some characterizations like uh, which type of mobile or which type of clothing we required, or which type of brand we required. These are all called attributes of Amazon app. So next question is a difference between standard dimension and attribute dimension. So standard dimension is required for business purpose, whereas attribute dimensions are included in standard dimensions, like it is acted as a categories are characterized the particular dimension in various manner like region, color, product wise, so that it will filter the entire details what required as per user. So next question is, which case do you prefer attribute dimension or standard dimension? So attribute dimension that we preferred at the time of filtering, like we need only particular region like APAC or USA or Middle East Africa or Europe. Like that, we will filter the results in our standard dimensions to get the exact results of that particular account. So can we assign attribute dimension to a dense or a sparse? Before that, we need to log into the EPM cloud. So, so after enter into the Oracle cloud, go to the navigator under create and manage, select the dimensions. Here you can see the uh, which is dense dimension or which is a sparse dimension here in this area. So only account dimension is dense dimension, remaining all are sparse dimension. As per this slide, can we assign attribute dimension to dense or sparse? We can assign only sparse dimension, not dense dimension. If we try to assign the dense dimension, that is account dimension, custom attributes, so we don't have access to create new attribute dimension here, because pre-built dimension like is CI/CTA account, CI/CTA redirection, these all are pre-built. There is no way to there is no chance to create new attribute dimension in account dimension. Whereas compared to other dimensions, account dimension have don't have the permission to create the attribute dimension, or when we select the consolidation dimension, so we have a chance to give attribute dimensions. Like you can see here, plus button. By clicking this, we will enable the uh, attribute dimension creation, so that we don't have a permission to enter in dense dimension for attribute dimensions. So you only use the sparse dimensions for creation of attribute dimensions. So next is, can you show me how to create attribute dimension? For that, we need to go to the application navigation area, create and manage, click on dimensions, select the entity dimension. Sorry, entity dimension. Here you can see the pre-built dimensions are there. Click on parent entity, click on custom dimension. We can select here or we can select from actions menu. So click on custom attributes. Here you can see the plus icon. We can create the uh, by clicking the plus icon. For time being, I have created some of the uh, regions, so that in that I have selected Asia. For that, I'm going to give some child for that particular Asia region attribute. So in Asia, India, click save. So again, click on Asia region, give the child as Russia. So again here, give some child as China. These are all the attribute members for that Asia region attribute value. So by this way, we will create the attribute dimensions in dimensions. So next question is, can you show me how to assign attribute dimension to standard dimensions? For that, we need to go to the dimensions once again. Just to close here. To the dimensions area. So select entity here. So select total geography under segments. So under CN01 for N0105, I'm going to assign the attribute dimension. Click on edit. So here you can see the member properties, attribute values, UDA and member formula. On tabs, attribute tab, click on attribute tab. So here remove this first. So I'm going to assign the Asia region. What I have created, like or in America region, I'm going to create USA. So only one attribute will be selected. If you select the Canada and going to add it, it won't take, because only one attribute will assign to particular entity. So click on save. Sorry. So by this way, we will assign the attribute dimension to this particular EN01_05. With this, we will completed the creation of the attributes. Next, usage of attribute dimension in data forms. Can you show me how to use the attribute dimension in data forms in the page drop down, or show me how to standard dimension members are filtered? For that, we need to go to the application once again. Go to navigator, under create and manage, select the forms. So data, I have given the data entry here. Click on edit. Under layout tab, you can see attribute dimension. All are already created in this, what we have created in before. Region is there, color is there, Asia region is there, and then Africa, Middle East, and then Europe. These are all the various types of attribute dimension we have created in the application. For that, we need to assign this attribute dimension and how to filter these attribute dimensions to standard dimensions. For that, here I have selected the rows as a total assets balance sheet, column as a entity 05. So going to create one more column here. For that, I have selected edit. Segments EN01 05 France. Add click OK. So all are edited or all are selected here. So if we move this into the POV, so we need to select that particular east, west, south, north. So that I'm going to select a south region here. Click on OK. And then color also I'm going to show it in POV. So for color, I'm selecting the green. Click add, click OK. So here I'm going to select this uh, Asia or America region into rows section. For that, I'm going to select USA. OK. So click on save. Click on preview. Here you can see this. This is the USA, a basic dimension or basic attribute dimension we have selected in uh, rows area. These are all the standard dimensions we have assigned to attribute dimensions to this standard dimension. So here you can see the uh, for EN01 underscore GO5 New York, we have given the south as a region and then color as a green color. If we select this EN01 or 05 New York, it will appear in green color and then it will shows the region as south. In USA, it will shows as south. So like this way, we will filter the standard dimension data with the help of the attribute dimensions. So click on finish. So next is these are all hierarchy already created as per our time being purpose. So no need to focus on this. Next is can we move attribute dimension to POV or explain outcome of it? Nothing will change. It will uh, appear. So here you can see this. So these are all the attributes here. If we move this Middle East into the POV, it won't get any effect in preview because it shows all our shows in this. We have selected region as a attribute dimension also and then color as a green dimension. There is no changes in uh, moving of that particular dimension or particular attribute dimension into the POV. So if we can move the attribute dimension to rows or rows, if you can see here, so USA, I have selected the America region here. This is attribute dimension. I have moved to this in rows column. So if you preview this, it will shows here. It will shows here like all the account members. So required for USA. So for that particular entities like UN01 underscore 05, it will shows like that. If we move to this USA or particular American region here, it will shows like this. And then if we need to preview this, you can see here like it will come appears under rows column columns column like in USA only New York will be appear and then in USA this particular entity will merge into that particular column. So like this way, we will move the particular attribute dimension to POV, row section, as well as column section. It will says that the particular attribute like categorizes that particular entity into various manner, like it shows that particular entity accounts, or that shows particular entity is in green color. Like this way, we will separate the attribute dimensions and filter the standard dimension members using attribute members. So go to the next slide. After that, usage of attribute dimensions in RTP. So for that, we need to go to the navigation part, click on close, finish this, close this. So under navigation, under create and manage, we need to click on the rules for RTP selection. Click OK. We can we assign attribute dimension or attribute dimension members in RTP? Yes, we can assign the attributes to RTP, that is runtime prompts. For that, we need to go to the calculation manager section. Here, system view is there, the particular tab, click on actions menu, open the new variable designer. So in the left side pane, we need to select the not global one, because it won't appear for the it gives all the cubes, but we want only console cube. For that, we need to click on console. So we need to create new one. For that, click on actions, click on new rule, give the name as attribute 2. So data type is member. Then only it will be shown as some particular columns here. Select the America region, enable this RTP runtime prompt. We need to give the limitations for this particular runtime prompt. Select the member. Here there is a two ways to assign the members for these limitations. We will use member as well as function. So for this, I'm going to use the member. To select the America region of that particular. Here you can see the USA, Canada. I'm going to assign the North Carolina for this purpose. So select, add, and OK. For default value, I'm going to use the function. Here you can see the various types of attribute names or functions like all ancestors, ancestors attribute. Here I'm going to select the attribute. For that, we need to select the member. Click on member. Here we have is CITA account. We need to change this America region. Under America region, North Carolina as a default value. Click OK. So here you can see the limitations and then default value assigned successfully. We need to give the runtime prompt text. So given, please enter entity value or entity attribute. So all are good. So click on save. Attribute value or variable saved successfully. And then you to go to the presentation. So can this part is good, right? We can assign the attributes to RTP. So the part of how to assign the attributes also over. So next topic is uh, business rules. How to use the business, attribute dimensions in business rules. So we have created RTP successfully. For that, we need to create one rule or business rule for that runtime prompts. So go to the system view under EPM cloud of the particular system. So click on console, click on rules, click on new. Here you can see the name I'm giving the rules, attribute rules. EPM cloud is the application type. Application name is FCCS. Cube is console. Click OK. Attribute. So here you can see the new rule was opened. New to create a click on new object. We want to create a rule for that particular attribute. So all are good. EPM FCCS console rule. Click on OK. Name of that particular is user2. So this is the user2 is created or opening for the editing. So can you show me at least two functions of that attribute in business rules? Choose randomly any attribute dimension member. Choose any random combination for the standard dimension. Go to the action menu once again. Here, calculation manager, give the scripting, fix, embrace, RTP underscore entity attribute. And then next one is attribute 2. Attribute 2. So next is end fix. So scripting is ready. All are good. And then here click on save. So user2 is saved successfully. Click OK. So we need to validate this particular rule. Here you can see the assignment of attributes to the rule successfully. Click on validate. Rule was successfully validated without any errors. So now I'm going to deploy this particular runtime prompts to business rules. Deploy it. So deployment was successful. So output was successfully created. So we need to execute in business rules. For that, we need to go to the business rules once again of that application. Click on navigator, click on business rules here under dashboards. So here you can see the various business rules. Under that, we have created a attribute rule. Attribute is one of the rule before I have created user2. That is our new rule for purpose of the practice. So click on launch. So here you can see the attribute for North Carolina and then attribute for Canada. So after giving these details of particular consolidation currency entity period, so we are going to click on launch. By this way, we will launch this consolidation of that particular runtime prompt and then business rule. So that that's the result of output shown in business rules. Next is usage of attribute dimension in Smart View. So first question is, can we show how to insert the attribute in Smart View? For that, I'm going to click on new blank workbook. So click on Smart View, click on panel. So you can see the shared connections and private connections. Click on private connection. Click on this URL like our 192.168.56.102. So give the login credentials of EPM Cloud. EPM scope admin. So EPM password here. Click OK. So you can see that logged in successfully in SmartView. Click on that URL. Click on SCCS. Expand the library. Before that, we need to remove the suppress the mixing blocks under mode. So click OK. Here you can see the data forms or data statuses. Click on that. Click on entity. Open the ad hoc analysis. By this way, we will launch the form into our smart view application. So here create one column. So here I am going to give the attribute dimension for that. So just give the America region. So hit enter, hit refresh. Or we can give the region simply, hit enter, hit refresh. By this way, we will assign the attribute dimensions in smart form. If we enter the region as an attribute in this particular column, so it will automatically it takes the entity 0105 New York as an attribute dimension, as entity 0101 France as an attribute dimensions in smart view. By this way, we will use the POV and edit this our required columns in smart view. So this is all about the attribute dimensions. Over to you, Manjusha. Hello. 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 Hello.